blood money went by the name of
Gray Hughes.
Gray Hughes. Gray Hughes.
What up, what up, what up? Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if my audio is set at the right levels. Tattoo. Hey D, good to see you. Glitter. Fight. Jerry. Hello, Kelly. Lynn. Mike. Hello. Good to see you. Don Spain. What up? CJK. Yep. I had a whole bunch of stuff I was going to go over in a members meeting tomorrow in regards to Delphi, but we switched gears. We're going to look into the Idaho 4 and the two other cases, Sandra Ladd and Travis Jewetton. Law enforcement doesn't think there's a connection, but we're going to look anyway. Well, that beat was a throwback from my good friend Bruiser. Rest in peace. See, we got a lot to go through. I pulled a quick clip on the U.S. Marshals. We'll do a whole thing on that during members as well. But we'll just show one little video. And then I pulled what looks to be an accumulation of early media. And I apologize, but the link will be in the description. I don't know, in a day or two. But yeah, I thought it was very helpful. Miracle Heart, hello. The Rockaway is a solid track. Hope it makes the main rotation. Good to see everybody. Hey, what's up, Bossy? Hey, thanks for the email earlier. I appreciate that. Hey, Tech Death, good to see you. Hey, crime. Hello. I'm pretty sure you meant cat. It was your subconscious. Yeah, man. Good to see you. Hey, what's up, BN? All right. So this one's going to be super random, I think. Let me see what I got here. I got some stuff from Keegan. Let's see. This one's titled Keegan saying he is fucked. Kagan's transcript, page 137, 8 a.m. Log in, log out of the Anthony shots. Like, what the hell was that about? Page 165, Country Club Road. Page 146, searched Libby's friend's Facebook just before the ski mask incident, and then asked for the address. What else we got here? Nicholas C. McClellan's statement and people.com article. Potentially some close-ups of the actual shack. I don't know. This might come into play later on. Reddit post mentioning Richard Allen being hospitalized. I mean, has anybody seen any follow-up on that at all? What's up, Jack? Oh man, who was it? I apologize, but somebody in my comments just recently told me to check out a case, and it was actually local to Indiana. And these sick freaks went out, and they actually went out hunting. Thank God they were caught before they could actually kill this young girl. But they plotted and schemed and went out and targeted. Yeah, it was really bad. It was really scary. And I actually seen the case prior, but I didn't remember any of the names, and I didn't really didn't recall any of the details. But the fact that they left the comment, it really stuck with me. Went back, and honestly, I was a little bit shook. It was really scary to think about that, because recently something like that has come up as well. Yeah, that's what he says here. Shit, let's pull it up. Why not? I mean, let's analyze this comment right here. Keegan stated he was fucked and he should have left. Keegan advised he packed another bag and took it to Vegas. Keegan told investigators the main phone he used. Why would he say he was fucked? That means that he had prior knowledge of something, right? That means that at one point he was like, I should do this. Then I fucked up and did this. I fucked up when I knew I should have done this. But why? That's prior knowledge of the crime. You know, there's no reason that they're beating down his door for the CSAM. It's like he knows. Right there, if it wasn't for that statement, I'm not sure they would have been convinced. Keegan stated he was fucked and he should have left. To me, that's almost like he was almost, yeah, maybe he just, at one point he thought about maybe coming clean about his involvement. Possibly. Who knows? Thanks, Crimezilla. I'm very curious about that. And I'll show you guys the Reddit post that piqued my curiosity. Hey, Jane. Yeah, definitely admitting guilt. Look. I mean, why else would he be fucked? What does he mean by that? That means that at one point in the past, he predicted in the future he was going to be screwed. And now that prediction has been confirmed. All right. I think we'll watch this quick clip and then we'll take a look at a long video. I think it's about 15 minutes. It's all the early news coverage. When the girls were still missing, I think up until the point where they announced, okay, yeah, no, it's them.
Federal funding to help catch fugitives on the run. And while we were with them, U.S. Marshals arrested suspects for armed robbery and capital murder.
Is that the target location?
On the ground in Houston,
Check.
U.S. Marshals crisscrossing the city, looking for wanted fugitives.
There's been a rise in violence.
And I did have an article ready for you guys in regards to the U.S. Marshals, but just so you know, the reason I'm showing this video, U.S. Marshals were very involved during the search and arrest of Richard Allen. So I wanted to kind of just show a quick little video about him that I found. Collecting a lot more for a quick little members meeting, but this one's pretty long, so we'll just take a quick look.
Violent crime here in the Houston area.
Original charges, alien smuggling.
One of 10 cities picked by the Department of Justice to get funding for overtime, putting extra manpower on the streets.
We are here to make a difference in your communities.
In Operation North Star, there were 152 arrests, while KHOU 11 was with the marshals and deputy constables with Harris County Precinct 1. They arrested 27-year-old Ronnie Scott on a warrant for capital murder.
People that are willing to put a gun in your face or shoot at you or murder you, even though it's the allegation, I understand that. We want to have them off the street.
According to court documents, he was out on bond for 2 aggravated robberies. But the capital murder charge is not new. It happened 1 hour after one of those robberies. Houston police say Scott was part of a duo behind carjackings in Southwest Houston. Donnie Glover was killed in one of those carjackings in February 2021 on Linkwood Drive. He told 911, "Somebody just tried to steal my car. I just had to run."
The offenders that this group is going after
are the worst of the worst.
We just took him down.
The other arrest marshals made 28-year-old Lachelle Butler. He had active warrants for 2 armed robberies.
During the armed robberies, they were focusing on high-end lawn equipment, and they were robbing these individuals at gunpoint.
Butler was not out on bond, but does have prior convictions for evading arrest and burglary. In court documents, prosecutors said he committed at least 2 aggravated robberies within approximately 1 week at 2 separate locations. Defendant poses a risk to the safety of the community.
We're going to keep charging. We're going to keep going after violent offenders. We're not going to step down.
We called both of the defense attorneys on these cases. Neither was ready to comment. In Scott's capital murder case, the bond is set at $2 million. And for Butler on the armed robbery cases, it's a combined $125,000. Grace White, KHOU.
All right. I think this one is pretty long, actually. This might be like 15 minutes. We might stop and go with this. But I was getting ready to put together an accumulation of basically all the early coverage of the Delphi case, and I stumbled upon this, and I lost the link, but if you check back in the description tomorrow, I should have it. But it's really not hard to find. It's not YouTube. It's I think it might be Vimeo. Let me see if I have that link. Yeah, I'll find it. But we're going to hang out watching this for a minute. Hey, shout out to Michigan. What's up, Junior? Hey, Jen. Yep, this case will drive you crazy if you let it. It's driven a few crazy. That's for sure. So we're going to hang out watching this for a little while. Hey, new member. What's up, Crimezilla? Welcome. Make sure you guys make them feel at home. We got a great meeting tomorrow about the Idaho 4 and the potential connection between the Sandra Ladd case and the Travis Jewetton case. Law enforcement, they don't seem to think that there's a connection right now, but I mean, I've already found one. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, and I want to get your opinion on some things. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so we're going to watch all the early media in regards to the Delphi case. I want to look at a few pages from the Keegan-Klein, and the only reason we're going back to Keegan-Klein is now they've confirmed that others are involved, right? Now this puts the search back in play. This puts all these other people back in play. Even somewhere in the back of the line, even Ron Logan, obviously he's not the bridge guy. We've always known that, but now we always said, well, maybe he's part of this crime after the fact. You always have that as well. Not that we suspect, but we don't want to rule anything out. Hey, Moon Crystal. Indy Pam. Hey, Lakeside. Welcome. Hey, Sassy. It's been a minute. Not Sunshine. Country Chicken says dark web connected. They have to figure out who CIA and who's pedos and make deals and etc. like they always do. Honestly, who knows the shenanigans that are going on online? Honestly. From what we've learned about Keegan-Klein, he was a sophisticated catfish. and he was vested a few years. You know what I mean? Yeah, the rabbit holes, they never stop. Hey, what's up, Robert? Good to see you. All right, let's get it going.
That discovery made during the search for two 13-year-old girls, Libby German and Abby Williams. Now, this is the area we're talking about, Delphi, Indiana, a tight-knit community here in Carroll County, and they came out strong searching for these girls today.
John, the firehouse was headquarters for this search. Hundreds of volunteers coming through here along with police and firefighters and searchers. The bodies, they were found about 2 miles from where we are standing. This is an area east of town by a couple of miles. The most recognizable landmark is the Freedom Bridge. The crime scene, though, is along Deer Creek, a remote area well off the popular trails and scenic walkways used by many of the people in Delphi. The hope among hundreds of searchers turned to heartbreak. Well before authorities announced that 2 bodies were found, the faces and tears of firemen, lawmen, and volunteers told the tragic outcome.
We are investigating this as a crime scene. We suspect foul play. We have not made positive identification of the 2 bodies.
The bodies were found shortly after noon outside of town along the banks of Deer Creek, about 3/4 of a mile upstream from the teenagers' last location. A Snapchat photo taken by Libby German put her and her friend Abby Williams on the abandoned Monon High Bridge early Monday afternoon. They were enjoying a day off from school. The pair never arrived at a location a relative was supposed to pick them up.
It's been a long several hours. It's played tremendously on the emotions of the community.
So if you can group up like somebody's got a pickup truck or something.
Hundreds of volunteers joined firefighters and police from across the county. They searched and researched a 20-square-mile area, walking through creek banks, the remote woods, wide fields, and buildings. Many of the volunteers know the girls and their families.
Yeah, we do take it personally. We don't know what's happened here.
Hours before the bodies were found, we spoke with Libby's grandfather, Mike Patty.
Very, very good kids. I mean, they're sports oriented. That's their relationship together. They play a lot of sports together, volleyball, softball, baseball, whatever it is.
Investigators wanting to protect the evidence are releasing few details. The presumed murders occurred in a popular, well-used hiking area.
Should people in the community be afraid right now?
Delphi Police Chief Stephen Mullen.
I think people are smart enough in our community to draw their own conclusions about what they should feel and shouldn't feel.
We expect that police are going to be processing that crime scene, John, until they run out of daylight. In addition to local police officials, they're getting help from the FBI. Autopsy results should perhaps provide some answers to questions a lot of.
Let's see that. Robert says, I do think RA is BG, but I think he had help. Well, at least a driver, Marathon gas station. Oh, wow. So you're trying to replace like the old KKTK theory with a RA KK theory. Okay, that's interesting.
Delphi residents are asking.
Yeah, the response here has been overwhelming by law enforcement agencies. Thank you, Rich Van Wyk, tonight. Now, not just the law enforcement agencies, but the people here in Delphi have been quite affected by this. If you do a search of crime statistics, crime rates are low here in Delphi.
Very upsetting.
That's an interesting question. Dave Dean says, I wonder if DP is back in play. I don't know. I went back and looked at a list. There was an early list, somebody that was present. Now I think that person is Julie Melvin. Shout out to Julie. Her and I are cool. We're cool. She's been decent to me, so but I believe she created a list of people that were there. And the DP guy was there. And there was a couple other people there, but I don't know. I don't know how significant that is, but I do feel like we need to start right back at the beginning.
So this is a small community, and you just don't expect things like this to happen to your community.
I don't know how.
Aaron Wish says Jordan Sofer. Yeah, I've been looking into Jordan. Let me pull up her file real quick. See if I have anything new. I don't think you can see it on here. Yeah, I need to pull up a map on that. But apparently she left. Jordan Sulphur walked out her back gate, right? She went and said goodbye to her father. He said she kissed me on the cheek and then walked out the back gate. Now, if you walk directly out her back gate, it goes to a similar trail like the Monon Historic Trails in Delphi near the Monon High Bridge. It's very similar. Here, let me show you some of the photos. And this is directly behind her home. So, I mean, what if she encountered like a Richard Allen type person? I don't know. I don't even know if he's guilty. You know, we don't know yet. Here, let me pull up these images and share them with you. And I do have a map. It's just not detailed. It's not the map that I want to show you. Okay, so this is the park that's right behind her home in Wabash. Now, she wasn't found right here. She was actually found somewhere closer to Peru, Indiana, somewhere near a creek. I still cannot find out. I still cannot pinpoint that creek. So if anybody has it, let me know in the comments or shoot me an email. But this is her backyard right here. Like literally, she goes out her back door, goes maybe 20 yards, and she's right here. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you, Aaron.
I would react.
Here's another image. It's like just a park.
If it was my
My own child, you know, it's hard to explain.
It's sad what our world's come to, you know. 2 little girls can't walk home from school without getting home safe.
Hey, Jules.
Neighbors still waiting for final identification of those bodies.
Nevertheless, Superintendent Greg Briles met with staff late this afternoon to tell them it was a good possibility the 2 bodies found did indeed belong to their 2 missing students.
It's tough. You know, any kind of situation like this, you learn to cope with it, but they don't teach you how to deal with this in superintendent school, and they don't teach you how to deal with it at principal school or teaching school or anything like that. You kind of lean on those who have had similar experiences in the past, and you just keep leaning.
The superintendent says they never gathered students around today to discuss with them what they were hearing. They said they wanted to leave that to students' parents tonight, but if this is what they believe it is, they will have counselors available here for the rest of the week and beyond. And Delphi United Methodist Church is also opening its doors tonight at 7 to offer the community here support.
And there are a lot of police presence here. In fact, about 40 members of various police agencies are in the area where these bodies were found, including policemen and officers from the FBI, from the state police, the county sheriff's department, and the city police department. Even the superintendent of the Indiana State Police came up here to Delphi today to be part of this search. And here's what he had to say.
Tremendous coordination with an event like this, and we still don't know exactly who these folks are. But this is a small community in rural Indiana, and I want them to know that they're going to get any and all resources that they need to make sure this comes to a successful resolution.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And we are now almost exactly 24 hours from when.
Robert, I don't know if you're referring to the Jordan Sofer case. I don't know. It's a very strange case. Technically, I haven't really seen where they've ruled it an actual homicide. It's like more like a suspicious death. Here, let me look at the case notes that I put down here. She talked to a guidance counselor apparently at a Wabash high school. These are the things that were of interest to me out of all of the documents that I read. Let's see. She talked to a guidance counselor at Wabash High School. I'm interested in who that was. Apparently, it was right around the time that she disappeared. She worked at Hardee's. No, I'd really like to talk to those people. Be interesting to know what they have to say. And sometimes you have people that work there, 20 years. They're holding down the fort. They might have a plethora of knowledge for us. Let's see. Wabash Police Department. That's 260-563-1111. I did email the investigator who was in charge at the time. And the crazy thing is, he's the mayor now of Wabash. He did not get back to me, by the way. He has not responded. Jordan Sofer was previously from Peru and was known by the name of Aaron, capital Arryne, Marie, Maria, Willis, Willis. So I thought that was strange. She was recently adopted by a family at the age of 16, changed her name completely. I don't know. I find this all very, very strange. Date of birth, March 24th, 1988. Missing May 23rd, 2006. She had just turned 18, height 5'1", city Wabash, weight 150, Indiana, hair brown, eye color hazel. And she was found dead and they do not know the cause right now. Yeah, we're going to get into this case. We can talk about it at the end of this as well.
Police first were notified that these two girls were missing, and the search has ended in some sadness tonight here in Delphi. This community is not used to this kind of situation. It's a low crime area, and police have a lot to deal with tonight. The investigation will continue throughout the evening. They're still processing the crime scene. The bodies have not yet been removed. The coroner will take a look at those bodies, and hopefully sometime tomorrow morning we will have some idea on the identities of those people found here in Carroll County. Now, I want to show you the area that we're talking about where the search took place today. Drone Cam 13 flew over the rural area where 13-year-old Abby Williams and Libby German went missing yesterday afternoon. They were last seen near an abandoned railroad bridge and where family members say they had gone hiking.
Oh, wait. This is the one I remember watching, and I wanted to rewind it. Here, I'm going to rewind it with you guys live. Look, you can. This is the first video where I seen the actual detectives walking. Look at the bottom left corner. I think you can see detectives walking.
The coroner will take a look at those bodies, and hopefully sometime tomorrow morning we will have some idea on the identities of those people found here in Carroll County.
Hey, what's up, Dad?
Now, I want to show you the area that we're
right here. Look.
Talking about where the search took place today. Drone Cam 13 flew over the rural area where 13-year-old Abby Williams and Libby German went missing.
Right there. Look, you can see them walking. Bottom left. Because I'm always like, how do you plan to see this? You know, people claim to see the crime scene or whatever in detail. So I asked myself, how do you plan to see the actual crime scene in detail if you can't even show me like actual detectives? Because that place was crawling with people. So this is the first footage where I can actually see it. Bottom left corner.
Yesterday afternoon, they were last seen near an abandoned railroad bridge and where family members say they had gone hiking.
John, this was the search center. This is where they coordinated a search involving hundreds of people across the entire community in some way.
And the superintendent is stressing that all schools in the district will be on a soft lockdown. That means all doors to all schools here in the district will be locked, and they will be monitoring who comes in and out. That is something they say they
Bossy says, can we see his house in any of the footage during the search? Yeah. I thought, yeah, we showed you that. Here. Let me see if I can just load this up real quick. Yeah, you might have missed it. I even think Gray Hughes showed this. But yeah, RTV6, you can, I mean, they basically show us a neighborhood. Let's start with this right here. Might be able to load it up. All right, let's pause it right there. So the bottom right is the Monon High Bridge. Can you see it? Can you guys all see that? Hey, Beach Fairy, what's up, Aaron? What are you doing, Derek? Yeah, Julie Melvin has some really good videos too, by the way. I don't know her personally. I've spoken with her on my podcast one time, and then a few times privately, and we're good. We're in a good place. Hopefully I can talk to her again in the future. I still have mixed feelings, of course. But I'm my own person and I don't get bullied. Crimezilla, I think it's just her name. Honestly. Here, let's pull up. Let's pull up the screenshot real quick. That way I can zoom in on it. Okay, so down here, you get the Monon High Bridge. You get the, somewhere near the crime scene, right? Now, from this perspective, and the red arrow is right over Richard Allen's home, it's really not that far. And another thing is, check out these paths. Now, this path right here down the middle, right here, that leads directly to the Marathon gas station. And Riley Park is just like right over here. So you can go that way, or you can go under the freeway over here. But man, that's really not that far. Let's finish this up real quick. All right.
Anyway, it's just that now with this investigation ongoing, they feel compelled to monitor even more closely.
So here is what we know about the timeline of the disappearance of these two teenagers. Libby and Abby were dropped off in an area east of Delphi around 1 o'clock on Monday. The family tells us the last thing they found was a picture on Snapchat of the two at the bridge over the creek. That was around 2:30 p.m. When family went to pick them up, they couldn't find the girls and called police at about 5:30 yesterday evening. And then this afternoon, the sheriff's department said 2 bodies had been found. Foul play was involved. But again, and we want to be very clear about this, they did not identify the bodies as those of the 2 missing girls.
Aaron, it is sleuthintuition@gmail.com.
Thank you. Now, when the search for these girls got underway yesterday, many of our viewers reached out asking why police did not issue an Amber Alert. The state of Indiana takes a few factors into account when making that decision. First of all, the children involved must be younger than 18 and believed to be abducted or in serious danger. Now, police also have to have enough descriptive information to believe the alert would actually help them locate the information and locate the victims. In this particular case, the Carroll County Sheriff had said last night they had no information to lead them to think the 2 teens could face serious harm.
Tuesday night, Indiana State Troopers guard all routes into the crime scene outside Delphi. Here's the area by day from Drone
Thank you,
13.
Jules.
Police deployed along the cemetery and Deer Creek, where 2 bodies were found just out of the water. Investigators working to find if they're the remains of 2 13-year-old friends who disappeared Monday afternoon.
It's tragic. I mean, this is a family town. So we all have kids around here, and that's kind of scary.
In fact, the crime scene is about a football field out her back door. She was away Monday afternoon when the 2 missing girls, Libby German and Abby Williams, were reportedly dropped off nearby to go exploring an old bridge, but they never showed up at the rendezvous point a few hours later. Jennifer hasn't seen anybody suspicious in the woods here.
You know, you don't even look for that, honestly. It's not something you expect to see. I mean, I'm from California, so to me this is a safe haven.
Why do you believe that there is foul play?
Just the way the bodies were found.
Police not saying how the victims died yet, and when asked if residents should be afraid that a killer is on the loose,
I think people are able to draw their own conclusions about this situation, and they are smart enough to figure out what the situation warrants them to think.
John, this is a community that is hurting, and they came to church tonight to pray about that. Hundreds prayed for the families of both of these girls, and
real quick before I forget. So the poll was Richard Allen is BG ? Yes, 79%. No, 20%. I was out of 173 votes. Thanks for all of you who participated in that. Thank you.
everyone else who is touched by what's happened.
They accepted like anybody.
That's what 6th grader Abby O'Neill and her sister say they love most about Libby German and Abby Williams.
It's hard.
Words don't come easy right now, but tears do, especially when these sisters think about Libby, the girls all on the middle school swim team together.
She was nice to everybody.
For their mother, it isn't any easier.
I can't imagine what the other parents are going through right now. I mean, the girls were my girls' ages, and I can't even put myself in their shoes.
Just kind of floors you. It numbifies you. You just don't know how to put anything into perspective or words.
Gail Fry is close with Libby German's family and is heartbroken over both girls' disappearance.
Very quiet, but yet she had a presence that you knew she was going to accomplish things.
Even those who say they don't know either family firsthand
there you go, Jules.
know
Thank
someone
you.
who does.
Go smash
They're
up
grieving for their community,
like button.
but mostly mourning for the girls' families as they wait for police to identify the 2 bodies found.
Just a half block down the street from the police station, people are thinking about the girls at the sandwich shop. It's a family place. Burgers, fries, and a side of concern over the day's news.
I just can't believe, that it really happened.
Marcia Rossiter is raising her 11-year-old granddaughter, Caden.
Yeah.
And for her, this is hitting very close to home.
Yeah, she used to sit with the one girl on the bus, so it really bothers her. Of course, all the kids are upset.
On the other side of the room, the Lowrys and their 14-year-old son, Cullen, who said he heard the news at school on social media.
We just told him not to go out, not to go anywhere.
And he's already accepted that his world has changed in the last 24 hours.
I'm going to be more careful about stuff, I know that.
Cullen's dad, Kenny, has lived here his entire life and is still processing what happened.
It's not like they did anything wrong,
For a minute, I thought this was that kid that was recently reported in the media. I was like, wait, what the
On the other side of the room, the Lowrys and their 14-year-old son, Cullen, who said he heard the news at school on social media.
We just told him not to go out, not to go anywhere.
And he's already accepted that his world has changed in the last 24 hours.
I'm going to be more careful about stuff, I know that.
Cullen's dad, Kenny, has lived here his entire life and is still processing what happened.
It's not like they did anything wrong, in this community you can walk around like that. You don't have to have those fears. And then for something like this tragedy to happen, we just don't understand it.
But they do understand the need to be more vigilant with their own children as police work to solve a crime that hits so close to their homes.
We're bringing you up to speed here on what we are expecting here in the day ahead. Hopefully some answers, because it's what so many people here in this community are desperate for this morning, especially as they hug their children and
Let's take a look at Andrew's question. Might be a good time to kind of pause and hang out in the chat for a minute. Andrew Derringer. Cool name. Thoughts on Unsolved criticizing the prosecutor in his latest video. I didn't catch it. I saw that it went up. And I was awake. It went up at like a strange hour. And I know that because I was up at that point. I didn't think that was fair at all, considering we don't really know what is going on behind the scenes whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, we're all entitled to our own opinion, right? That's how I feel about it. But I don't know anything really about it. I'll take a look. I'm sure I'll get to it. I've been real busy. Good to see you. Oh, you did? Okay. Well, why don't you just go ahead and leave me a message right here in the chat? I mean, you're here, I'm here, we're all here. Go ahead and punch it right on in the keyboard there in front of you. You can do it. You got this. We all believe in you. That was a bit condescending. I apologize. Carlos. Carlos don't like the unsolved. Damn, harsh words, bruh. Harsh words, bruh. Maybe they're fugitives. Somebody was telling me that the U.S. Marshals, sometimes they track down fugitives, you know? So maybe the other person involved is a fugitive right now. They're like trying to track his ass down. So you're not taking calls, huh? Why, you want me to take a call? I don't know. I don't think I trust you. I can use... I'm pretty good at seeing these slithering snakes. I'm going to do you one better. Watch this. I'm going to put you in timeout. It's for slithering. Hey, Jessica says, do private investigators get more details on cases they work on from law enforcement than what's out there already? Just wondering. No, but they do snoop. You know, it's their job to snoop. Look, we're snooping here, you know. It's nothing to us. We're just hanging out in our office, you know. We're snooping online. Now imagine getting paid to snoop. Like, oh, shit. You know, you're going to be up everybody's ass. So they just end up acquiring information. They're motivated, I guess. Beer helps you sleep. Oh man, if I reading will put me out every time. I'll get through one chapter and I'm ready to pass out. I hate it. I've tried drinking coffee, espresso. I'm like, oh man, I just cannot do it. One chapter, I'm ready to pass out. Yeah, I hear that, Glitter. I mean, we really don't know how the girls were killed, or how the Idaho. I've been calling them the Idaho 4 guys, so hopefully that's not offensive or anything. But in my mind, it's the Idaho 4, and it's 3 girls and one male. And I don't think we do know how they were killed. I'm assuming one was hurt more than the other. And we can talk about that. I mean, they're trying to dismiss any connection between those other crimes that happened near Salem, because they believe that this is a targeted attack. But remember, staging and all that shit, sometimes it can be designed to mislead. So hopefully they're taking that into consideration. Slithery snakes. I can see you coming. You know, you let a few come through and you know you regret it, but it's okay because you knew you were going to regret it. You know what I mean? Oh, I wouldn't worry about any of that, Andrew. Andrew says, I really like the Unsolved too. I just think it's a little early to be writing the state's case off before the PCA is released, at least. Look, all of this trial by, public trial by social media, none of this shit matters. It really doesn't. Like, you're not going to be able, you can't taint a jury because they're looking for a certain type of person. They're not looking for people who have knowledge of the case. They could care less as long as you're not connected. Can you be fair and impartial once we provide you with the evidence? It's pretty simple. So everybody's like, oh, you're going to taint the jury. You're going to do this. None of this shit matters. Because once the court proceeding starts and the prosecutor's like, look, this is what we have. Boom. Here's the evidence. Boom. This is DNA evidence. This is photograph. We got photographs. We have, we discovered this on his property. It's his signatures, matches his DNA and the victim's DNA. Like, it doesn't matter what we're talking about and the shit that we're doing here. Once the trial starts, like, all of that information is going to be indisputable. So it's just strange for me to hear people act as if though anything that we do out here is going to affect anything. The prosecutor's hanging back and he's like, when the time comes and I have to give this information to the defense, I will legally hand it over. They will make their defense, and then in court, everybody will see it. This thing's not going to be tried in the public on YouTube. Wow. Derek, what's up? Says, I'm starting to feel a group of people knew the extent of what was going to happen, and a group of slightly less nefarious people were planning on doing bad shit just shy of murder. Somebody took it too far. I don't know. We might have some cold-blooded killers here who plan to document the murder for whatever reason. But I think the bigger question is, what evidence does law enforcement have that would make them think that others were involved? To me, it kind of makes me go back to Libby's original video of the bridge guy. Burston says, this is, I guess I'll try to quote him. You guys in the TV business, what do you have? You don't see what's over here and you don't see what's over here. And he's kind of talking about putting things in frame, but you don't see what's going on, behind the scenes. So I'm wondering if in her video they zoomed in on the bridge guy, but maybe there was something else. Maybe not a lot of information, but maybe just a glimpse of other characters. Maybe. I just think it's like at this point we got to start over right from the beginning. That's why I'm playing this. Not necessarily. They wouldn't have to share anything with a private investigator legally. Unless yeah. A lawyer would have more ability than a private investigator by far. Right? Solution to my insomnia is reading. You're damn right. It really is. I like to listen to talk radio also, like while I'm sleeping. I think so. Hey, what's up, Bill? Good to see you. Sharp-edged weapon for sure. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming a knife. Bladed. I don't remember that part. Yeah, certain type of knife. A long knife. Fixed blade, fixed long knife. Oh yeah, thanks, Goat. I did see that. I did receive them. I haven't had a chance to look at things. Usually on the weekends, I'm locked down. It's like mostly family time.
Them off to school. In the day ahead, we are expecting autopsy to be performed at 8 o'clock this morning in southern Indiana. From there, we should get a lot of information. That includes how those two people died, because that's something also we do not know yet from police here in this area. We are also expecting to learn the names of those two victims as well.
Is there anything any procedure that is changing for the children or the parents this morning that they need to know?
Well, one of the things that we're doing is here in the community, any student that needs a ride to school, whether they ride the bus on a normal basis or not, they are welcome to go to a bus stop and get on those buses. So we have a lot of walkers, and if the parents feel that
I think they heard more than one person in Libby's video. I don't know. I've tried to find some of that information. I tried to send some samples over to Fig, but he missed them completely. I guess I can play them for you guys. Let's see. Hold on. Let me find the original. Here, let's try this. Okay, so that's the one singled out. Let's see. I think this is the original. Here, let's listen to this. Let me know if you guys can't hear this.
Along with additional portions of the audio and video captured on Libby's phone.
Can you guys hear that? Thank you, Aaron. All right, you hear that part? Here, let me start this over.
Along with
So what I'll do here is I'll play the original. This is from the HLN special, and it sounds different than all the other samples of the voice. And me and Fig were kind of tripping out on it. And I actually think I found something, and I sent it to him, but sometimes some people just don't hear it. That's why you choose not to share it, because it's kind of iffy. But we'll hear the original. I'll single it out, and then I'll try to isolate what I'm trying to show you, and then I'll show it to you, and maybe you guys can hear it.
Along with additional portions of the audio and video captured on Libby's phone.
Okay, so that was kind of the isolated part. Now this is it by itself. Now let me know what you guys hear. All right, one more time with this one.
Along with additional portions of the audio and video captured on Libby's phone. Along with additional portions.
All right, and then the singled out version one more time. So strange. So, I don't know what to make of that yet.
Bus ride is safer, then they're welcome to get on those buses. Our bus drivers are open arms.
All right, that's good to know. And what about how you will address the student body today, or will you?
You know, we still have 2 young ladies that are missing. And as you'd stated, it has not been confirmed that the bodies found yesterday were our students. But we still have 2 students missing. We're going to be very cautious in the way that we handle the situation. Our parents last night were able to have conversations with our students. And as we move forward into the day, we will have the services available. We're not going to pull our student body together.
And Grunge, it's funny because I won't say what I hear. Because if I tell everybody what I hear, that's like confirmation. So I didn't even tell Fig what I heard. And he's like, oh yeah, I hear this, and that. I'm like, no, well, that's not what I'm hearing. And then nobody in the chat is hearing what I'm hearing either. So, you almost have to get it to the point where you can present it factually and it's undeniable, and that's not easy to do.
We're going to let the professionals handle that.
We talked to someone who knew the girls quite well.
It's just happening so close to home. I've seen it at other busy places, but Delphi, nothing happens here. It's like, how could this be happening here in Delphi?
How can it happen here? So a lot of unanswered questions. Grief this morning. I'm a parent myself. When I heard the news about these girls yesterday, disappearance and then bodies being found, my heart went out to this community. We're grieving along with them and waiting for word of what may have happened to the 2 girls. So what are other parents here? How are they addressing their children this morning? We're going to have that for you coming up here this morning.
Well, we've learned just how big of a task I think that investigators are up against. We're at the Delphi City building. We've seen police coming and going this morning. We are told dozens of investigators are checking out hundreds of tips that have been relayed to the police. At the same time, they're still investigating the crime scene. It's a couple of miles outside of town. It is a remote area well off the public trails the girls were hiking Monday afternoon before they disappeared. The FBI is working with state and local police. I am told they're quite literally turning over every leaf in that crime scene, looking for any possible clues or evidence. They're also interviewing friends of the 2 girls for any information that might be helpful there. Everyone seems to have their eyes on Terre Haute, where the autopsies are underway. State police have told us they will advise us when the autopsy is done and provide what information they can from those autopsies, just how those bodies are identified. When we find out something, Scott, we'll tell you about it.
Yeah, state police say it's taking a little longer than normal to do those autopsies, and a news conference expected at some point later today.
We do have some breaking news from Carroll County. There is word now from Delphi that the 2 teenagers missing since the other day have been confirmed as the bodies found yesterday near Delphi. They are Libby German and Abby Williams. Here are their pictures. There is a press conference going on right now. Let's see if we can listen in to hear what the authorities are saying.
Okay, now this is the Reddit post I was referring to. Devoted to Mara, yeah, that would be considered a ruse. My understanding, that's what happened. But my understanding is probably not what happened. All right, let's take a look at this. This is the first place I ever heard about Rick Allen possibly being institutionalized or hospitalized. Title of this is I worked with Richard Rick, so apparently they called him Rick Allen for 8 months at CVS. So to quickly disclaim, I'm not going to reveal anybody's name. that did or still does work at the CVS location. What I can say is that I've been seeing a lot of speculation on really who he is and if anybody knew anything about who he was. I did not personally interest myself in his outside life, but I did work with Richard Allen at that CVS from July 2020 to April 2021. I OFC do not work at CVS anymore, and as others have stated, they were told to reply no comment in response to any questions related to him. To clarify as well, Rick's official title was shift supervisor. He did have his license, but was only really a backup technician if needed. So to me, that's like, let's say you're working in the pharmacy and that's your normal job and you got to take a break and there's nobody there to cover you. He would step in and he would just have to be qualified to cover that role momentarily and be qualified to do that. But it seems like he was just there to kind of cover shifts, but most, was more of a supervisor. He did have his license, but was only really a backup technician if needed. He was mostly either a shift leader or a shift support when he worked. I was a shift supervisor during my time there, and I personally worked with him every time we had a truck for the week, if not 3 to 4 times a week. Rick was the first and unfortunately the most polite and cooperative person to work with. He did a great job hiding in plain sight, and it does shake me a bit that I was alone with him lots of shifts. But in my opinion, the only story I've ever heard about Rick's past at the time was that he was a recovering alcoholic, went to an institution sometime prior to me working there, and had worked at Walmart for a few years. Rick never pinged under anybody's radar. He was literally one of the nicest and joking people working there. He didn't seem paranoid or afraid of anything. So, of course, anybody who wasn't the police couldn't piece it together. I'm still pretty shocked on how close I was to him, considering that we just found out. So there you have it. Crazy. So what do you guys think about that? We're probably going to end on that. We'll hang out in the chat for a little bit. So this person worked with Richard Allen and says that he was institutionalized. Oh, you know who else had a Jeep? I just found out. Here, let me show you this. I don't know if it matters, but when you're going through I don't know if you guys just go through old documents and you find connections. This is a connection. It might mean nothing, but if the Murder Sheet podcast is right and their source said that Keegan was waiting in a Jeep, check this out. Hopefully I can find it. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here it is. All right. I'm going to read this article. Here, I'll share. Yeah, let me put it up on the screen for you. Because I've been going back through all the old information. See if I can find anything interesting. Let's see. And I think this is the Kokomo Tribune. Kokomo police officers tailed the suspect dubbed Howard County's most wanted. In the hours leading to his arrest, revealed documents obtained by the Tribune. Yeah, there you go. The Tribune on Tuesday, around 7:05 p.m. on February 15th. And this is 2017, by the way. A Kokomo Police Department investigator observed Gabriel Ellis, 40, standing on the porch of a residence in the 100 block of East Harrison Street. By that time, KPD Drug Task Force had been conducting surveillance and undercover operations for a few days regarding Ellis, who was wanted on a warrant for possession of child pornography and child exploitation, according to a probable cause affidavit. Police were also looking for a 16-year-old female who was possibly with Ellis. After Ellis went back into the house on Harrison Street, the investigators saw a 2011 silver Jeep leave the house. It was later located in the Markland Mall parking lot. So there you have it, 2000 silver Jeep. I don't know if that means anything, but he was arrested not too far from Delphi with meth. Here, let's read it. Let's read on. It was later located in Markland Mall parking lot. Drug task force officers tailed the vehicle as it parked in front of various businesses near the mall before it turned onto Markland Avenue and began traveling eastbound. Investigators in the unmarked car contacted a canine officer, telling him the vehicle they were tailing had an expired license plate. As the vehicle turned into the Mere parking lot at 2301 East Markland Avenue, the officer turned on his lights to pull the vehicle over. Despite the lights, the Jeep still drove forward at a slow rate of speed, documents say. It eventually stopped near the store's west entrance. As officers approached the vehicle, Ellis reportedly got out of the back seat and got on the ground. Officers also found 16-year-old female reported as a runaway sitting in the back seat. There were two females in the front seats, one driving and the other in the passenger seat. A canine officer's dog conducted an exterior sniff around the vehicle, states the affidavit. The dog indicated there were drugs in the vehicle. Inside the Jeep, investigators allegedly found a plastic bag between the cushions and the rear passenger seat where Ellis had been sitting. It held a substance that Phil tested positive for meth. Officers also reported they found a syringe, a glass smoking device, and a plastic bag with a plant material. They also found a black pistol in the rear storage compartment. Ellis, after being read his rights, allegedly said all the items collected were his. Charges: he was dealing meth. He was considered, the most wanted at the time. He's affiliated with people in Delphi. So I don't know. I don't know what that means. But he was in a Jeep. That was the whole point of that. Finding connections, I guess. The long-winded version. Thank you, Candace. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. But we're going to hang out for another 6 minutes. And we'll hang out in the chat and we'll start to wind down.
Blood money went by the name of
Gray Hughes.
Yes, sir. I'm excited about this one. Put a lot of research into this one. It's going to be a good meeting. I can't wait. It's posted in the community page, D. Oh yeah, go check out my channel. Thank you, Derek. Yeah, hit that like button. Yeah, me too, Verbal. Hey, Kiwi. Later, guys. I'll see you soon. Peace out.